Okay, so what moment from the last 100 episodes do you wish more people had seen or heard about?
Ooh, you come with some hard questions.
Hey. Okay, so I take it back. I do want another question.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the Getting in Your Business podcast. I'm your guest host today, Megan Molix, and I'm honored to be in this seat to celebrate a special milestone. 100 episodes, 100 conversations, 100 reasons this community keeps showing up. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain just a little bit, and I've got some questions that go beyond the talking points, because that's where the good stuff lives. So settle in, because this one is going to be worth every minute today. So hello, thank you guys for allowing me to be your guest host today. First, before we get started, how does it feel being on the other end?
This is pretty weird.
It's so weird. But girl, that intro, yes ma'am.
Cool.
Okay.
Work on my intro a little bit
Girl,
more.
I'm gonna have to take some notes. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I just want us all to get relaxed because I do have some questions. Trust me, they're going to be some good questions. There's some
Okay.
juicy questions that I think the community wants to know.
Okay.
So we're going to get right into it. So my first question for you guys, if you have to think of this podcast as a person, what's the personality that this podcast has? I want your answer, Alison, then I want your answer, Kanan. What's the personality of this podcast?
I think it's open and it's fun. Like I think this podcast brings so much diversity with our different businesses, because we have so many different businesses and nonprofits and talented people in this community doing things. And half of the fun is just getting to talk to them and seeing them kind of relax and talking about what they love and their passion. So I think the personality would probably be like open and fun. What about you?
I think so too. I like the stories. I think I like the aspect of getting to see what just basically all the business on how they got started and why they do what they do, why they love doing it. So I think personality-wise, I would say, I don't know if you call it personality, but just curiosity. Just
I like
always
that.
learning
Yeah,
about
that's
the
a good
community
one.
and different
That's
people. Because I'm a forever student.
Right.
Me too.
People, oh, you're a professional. I'm a forever student. I'm always learning.
Yeah.
So
Right. That's very, I like those answers. Open and curiosity.
Yeah.
And when I think about the chamber and when I think about this podcast and what you guys do, I really think that actually matches what you guys do and who you guys reach. You're trying to help open up these business owners, but also give people a peek of so that's that curiosity piece. Give people a peek of not just what the chamber does, but who the chamber connects with. So I love that. So
and I would add to the podcast is really hyper local. We are not interested in the whole YouTube thing. I mean, we're on YouTube, but we are really focused just on Facebook and the community. If it happens on YouTube, that's great, but it's not a big focus. We want to make sure we take care of it.
Yeah, we are a local podcast, and yeah, it reaches some of our surrounding counties, but we are local. Like it is, we're not trying to be something we're not.
Right.
No desire.
Absolutely. Okay, so what moment from the last 100 episodes do you wish more people had seen or heard about?
Ooh, you come with some hard questions.
Hey. Okay, so I take it back. I do want another question.
Oh man, it's got a word for me. So I don't. Let me see. What would be? Okay. That's what we'll do from Cumberland Island. The
I don't remember.
He's a boat captain. He worked like 24/7.
Yes, and his name just left me.
Captain Ron. Is it Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Ron.
Captain Ron.
That was good. He talked about how he's a captive, boat captain, but then he said he had went in this terrible storm, hurricane. It was a hurricane,
Okay.
and the boat got flipped upside down, and he said, "I'll never, ever," when he got to land, "I'll never, ever go back on a boat." And he's been, I think he's had more trips over to Cumberland Island than any other captain, I guess, local.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's stories like that, even when we had Steffens on and them telling their story about how Steffens used to be like their police station. And like way back when.
Wow.
And
Did say there was a fight club there too?
yes, there was a fight club. So like you find out so like such cool
Wow.
information,
Yeah.
So yeah, I could go on and on about my favorite, because there's something good about like you pick from I mean, from horse therapy to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I'm saying? To businesses that have been around here for generations, you know, and it's really, really cool. And I love finding out all the history about this place.
I'm a transplant. Both of us got here about the same time. So there's a lot of things that I'm just learning. You know, it may be common knowledge to like a certain small set of people, but I didn't know anything about you know, the haunted, like even what you call it, hotel down in Riverview.
Yeah.
And, you know, so all those little stories are just interesting, you know, just to find. I mean,
that was a fun podcast having George on. From Mr. George came from the Riverview Hotel, and he we'd take the military tour in there, and he was telling all the stories, and everybody's like captivated by these ghost stories, you know, but he tells the history of the three sisters that owned it, and it actually didn't come out of the original owners family until like 2019. So like you learn like really cool things, and so like talking to him was so cool. So we could be here all day naming all our favorites.
No, that's amazing, because outside of just helping people promote their business, you're also helping people get to know the history of Camden County.
Because I want them to love where they live, and to understand that like you can go on all the, you know, everybody complaining and stuff, but at the same time, there's so much here. And I think if people knew the history and got to meet the people that really make this community what it is, I just think that they'll kind of connect with it more, you know.
And I think you should bloom where you're planted.
Amen.
That's true.
It's really easy to like look at the other, they're doing this way better. But bloom where you're planted. There's so much history and things that are here that you just, you know, you're not really, coming from the outside, having that perspective, I think that just kind of help people just who've been here like for 40, 50 years, just really love, you know, really understand, love how much this place is special. Alison says all the time, it's definitely a special place.
It's such a special place.
It's original. I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. And the fact that I just learned today that Stephen's was a police station and a fight club makes me understand why their chicken is so good.
Right, girl?
I love Stephen. Okay, so what's the most ridiculous thing that has happened off mic that the listeners have never heard about?
We have a ton of bloopers.
We do.
We don't.
But I will say this. So I had this like purple thing. Like it was supposed to be like a stress thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like this big, you know, just like, anyway, I would play with it because I talk, like you can see I'm talking with my hands.
Yeah.
And so I would hit the microphone all the time. And so I had to have something in my hand so I wouldn't keep like doing that. So I had this thing, and honestly, like after one podcast, I got up and Kanan was like, "What is on the floor?"
Yeah.
And I had basically shredded this purple. So it was like this purple foamy stuff just all over the floor.
Oh my gosh.
So
always vacuuming after.
it's like it was terrible. So now I'm not allowed to have toys like that.
I threw it away.
Yeah, he did.
So what do you use now? Are you comfortable now?
I will click a pin.
Okay.
But now I've realized that you can hear that sometimes. Right. So I'm trying to see.
I can fix it.
He's like, But I'm trying to get better about that and just kind of like twisting it in my fingers. I don't know what my problem is. Like I'm an adult and I have to remind myself, like, Alison, you're an adult. Get it together. But it's still gonna happen.
No, listen, I understand. I'm the same way. I don't know where my comfort water bottle is right now, but it's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understood.
So let's talk about the journey of the podcast in the chamber for a little bit. Okay. So was there an episode that you almost didn't do, and what made you go through with it?
I'm going to try to be nice.
Okay.
You don't have to say the name.
No,
you know.
It's gonna give it away. We can't. Okay, I would say this. Because we transitioned away from, initially we were doing a lot of brick and mortar videos in businesses, and then we transitioned to doing the podcast. There was one particular guest who was doing just the regular getting your business, you know, brick and mortar style, and they just talked forever. And it at the time, just to understand what I have to do, every time you say something, I have to go and try to find B-roll to represent that. So if we're going like 16 to 20 minutes long, actually, well, I'm not gonna say how many. There's quite a few where I'm holding the camera for like 20 minutes with the gimbal, right? And just trying to keep it steady. And Yeah, I had thoughts. So, I was like, well, you just get your point, But luckily, going to the not luckily. I mean, the podcast was always something that we were working towards. So once we got to this format, it lends better to just long form rambling and just telling your story out. But the older style just wasn't. So there are, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 that didn't make the cut. Yeah.
Well, they should have been podcasts from the get-go.
From the get-go.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it it's just not a good fit. So we just have to kind of and we're honest. Well, I'm honest about production. I'll just say, hey,
he has no problem.
Hey, this is trash. We gotta redo it. I want you to look good, and I'm honest with it, But yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good, and I'm glad that you are honest, and I'm glad that you guys have that. You are on that production side, because a lot of business owners don't understand the production side. Like, they know that they want to do something, but they don't understand what it takes fully for that content to be produced. So it's good that I'm glad that you're honest, because it's good that they're able to see that, so that way they know for next time or know for the future.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So what's the biggest mistake that you guys made early on that actually taught you something valuable for the podcast?
I mean, I guess you got to break it down. Which, getting your business style or the podcast? There's two different. Because they're different.
Okay, so then let's answer that first. Let's talk about the difference between the podcast and the getting in your business. Like, what is the difference between the two?
They're both called Getting in Your Business because that's we love the name, and so I think the biggest difference is one is a video inside your brick and mortar that requires a whole lot of planning. And I mean, you got to think most of these businesses are open during the time we're doing this. So customers don't know what you're doing, so they're just walking in and there's so much that goes in. So those videos, how long did we do this?
I think we did those almost 2 years straight.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah. And those started out before I met Kanan. Those started out as lives. And that's actually how we connected. So
well, we got to go back a little bit.
Okay. So let's tell this before we answer that question. Go ahead.
So what happened? So I show up at the chamber and I have a digital signage advertising screen. I'm all super fancy.
Time out. I've been on this job for I had just moved out of the stage of Chamber of Commerce. What does my day look like?
Right.
What do you do? So I was still in the stage of figuring out who people were, figuring out how things worked, all those things. In walks this guy. Go ahead.
Which I'm typically, if you work with me, I'm typically ahead a lot of times in things I present, and it seems a little weird. So anyway, so I talk to her and say, hey, I pitched the idea for the Getting Your Business, right, which is interviewing small business owners, and Alison she was not there. She was not ready at all. So
I thought it was a great idea.
I mean, it was a great idea. I just think like you just said, you were just trying to get a handle on everything.
I was still praying underneath my desk with tears. You know what I'm saying? That
mentally prepare.
And at that point, we didn't have support. We didn't have and not that people didn't support. It was just the chamber
infrastructure was
it was just not everything wasn't there to be able to for my brain to even wrap around what that looked like, and I didn't have relationships with the business owners yet.
Gotcha.
So I couldn't, I'm still trying to be like, hi, I'm Alison Shores. So chamber, and it just I hadn't gotten to the relationship. And what I can say is our relationships have grown over time organically, and you go through stuff with people, and so anyway, so at the time, I didn't have any of that set up.
Right.
I didn't know people.
Right.
So
it was fine.
Yeah.
I just kept on doing what I was doing, and then COVID hit, and the first video I saw was Brackish Bear, and that was she had Amy with her, and Amy was was really far, but it turned out fine. It was fine. But then
it was an hour long. Explaining a Facebook Live that's just going on and on about how to make beer. Well,
I mean, it's South Georgia. I'm sure someone loved it.
Yeah.
Well, I went forever trying to figure out what to even name this.
Yeah.
And so I
touch on that.
Yeah, naming it. We were gonna do faces behind the places.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then, but it was actually Lauren was the radio DJ then, and I just one day I was doing her show and I just said what. I'm thinking about naming my videos, you know, and I told her the name and she was like, you have to do Getting in Your Business. And I was like, oh, they do like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, so we got there with that. But yeah, the lives were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I probably got maybe, I don't know, a couple of them done before he walks in my office. He's like, okay, listen.
Okay.
You're finally there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but he said, you know, you've got to get better quality.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him with almost probably tears and said, okay, so that's the best I got.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying and I agree, but this is the best I can do. And that's
Now,
kind of,
she definitely, like anybody who is a perfectionist in a certain degree, she definitely undersells herself. And you know this about me, Megan. If I approach you, you're probably about 90% there, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't, you know, and it's the production side. Like,
Right.
if you're not that great, you know.
Right.
So I mean, she has talent. She knew what she wanted to do. It was just more of like a direction. I think once she saw the edit and how things flew, how it went, then she got because a lot of times people don't always see what I see.
Right.
You know, it's just different how I look at it. So,
but I think that's what makes us a great team together is because like we bring two totally different like strengths to the table and like he can help me because I'll just throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall, you know, and he helps me like poke holes in things, figure out like, okay, well, let's move this over here, you know, and I don't know. I think I trust him. He trusts me. You know, we've been working together for a while now. And this was on a prayer, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I forgot, like, I guess it was our first real one at
Unleash Camden.
And Dakota, that was in Dakota.
Yeah. Dakota's, I mean, again, the chemistry between both of them was just on point. And it was, what was cool with Dakota, I mean, there's times where they'll come up with some, you know, crazy idea. I mean, I rarely say no.
Right.
There are times I do say no, which dives into the whole shoot 'em up bag thing.
Yeah.
Which,
you know, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Just a second.
But I rarely say no. But Dakota, I just kind of let them do their thing, and I just handle the production side of it and make it. If I can't fix it, I'm all like, hey, redo.
And
I don't want to fix it in post.
Like Dakota at the time was working at Unleash Camden. He wasn't working at the chamber. So, and that was our first video. And so he was the one in the video telling us about, and he and I had such a great time that when I had to go do video number 2, I panicked because I was like, well, now I don't have Dakota.
Right.
Like now I don't, you know, and you could almost like for the first few videos, I can look back at it now and, but you could see that I needed Dakota at the time. Not because I think it was security and validation and making sure he could keep things on track. And during that time, I learned so much from both of you on what I was, what we're trying to do and how to do it. And like,
he's another natural talent. There's some people like Dakota, another shout out, Ricky at Bennett Chevy. That's another guy that's like, if you don't, I mean, we'll go to shoot this when I still do stuff with Bennett, but doing a commercial with Ricky, and this was the first time, and what he did is like, he said, here's a car, here's what I'm talking about. He kind of like in his head got all the numbers and what he wants to say. He walked around for about like 20 seconds, smoked a cigarette, threw it down, nailed it.
Really?
Yeah. And like, that is not like, I didn't have to like coach him. I didn't have to do nothing, you know? So there's some people who just have that natural talent. And Dakota's one of them. It just,
for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was so great for me because I got to learn like so much because I was in this position where I wasn't confident yet with everything that we had. You know, it was still in the building process. And so I think now I've kind of come into my own, but it's been a learned thing.
Right.
You know, I just have great people around me, you know, and it was, but I will tell you, we have to get the shoot 'em up bag. There was this,
Get to that part,
so I hope Julie
excited here.
I hope she doesn't kill me for talking about this, but, so we were doing one of the videos in Coastal Monogram and they have these bags, and what's cool about them is you can have your weapon
concealed carry.
Okay, okay.
And so I was like, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's got a whole thing. And then somewhere along the way, I learned that you could shoot through the bag should you need to, right? And
wow.
And so I just decided to tell everyone, you can like shoot them right through the bag.
Oh my God.
I love it. And so all of a sudden, Miss Julie,
right
you can just, people won't even know,
right?
Like, and it just didn't even. Yeah. Miss Julie comes around the corner and she was like, I don't think, and about that time, Kanan's like, good, and I was like, that's not what I meant.
I know, but like,
he's like, right, but that's what you said.
So okay, cut that out.
So for asking for a friend, where can I get one of these bags again?
It's Coastal Monogram.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love the dynamic here because, Alison, you are very much a visionary, and Kanan is very much the strategic person to bring that vision to pass.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, he's still a visionary too.
Yeah, listen,
this man comes and I'm like,
with him, yes.
You're going to have to draw it, a picture.
Right.
So, like, I don't know what? Okay. Yeah.
So the dynamic is really good. I love this. So let's get into what the chamber is. We're going to get into the meat of the chamber. So what does the chamber actually do that nobody talks about, but everybody benefits from?
Ooh, that's loaded. So to start with, our chamber, it hasn't served the same role throughout its, lifetime here in Camden County. It has changed over time. Mm-hmm. It was set up to promote business and build community. That's the whole thing. So anything you can kind of wrap into that is what I tell people. We don't fit into a box. Mm-hmm. The coolest thing about our chamber is we're not your typical chamber. Right. And it didn't that didn't happen because we thought, chambers don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Right. It's because every other chamber seemed to be doing, I was trying to bring here as I was trying to learn chamber, and it didn't work. Right. And I'm like, how do you get your people to do this? Like, what is happening? And what I finally understood was like, you got to go around and talk to people. Mm-hmm. So I think at the time when I started, there were very few members, just so many factors, not one person's fault, and it's none of that. It's just the nature of this, and we have, like I said, a special community and how things are kind of set up and laid out. And I think we fight between, are we a small town, just Camden people, and then you bring the space in, and now we're not that, So it's all these things, components that go into this community, and so as I was bringing things that just weren't working here. Right. We had to get creative. And I think out of that, the desperation of trying to find something, like I think we started with, business after hours, providing network opportunities for people. It's like, okay, when that started to work, I was like, which took time. Mm-hmm. And my first business after hours, I didn't want to talk to anybody. Right. I'm not a networker till now. So like, I was like, no, everybody's just here. Right. Okay, and they just want to mingle, and it's fine. Because I would be that person that showed up to a networking event and then left because, like, oh, I was here. Right. I'm not walking up to a group of people I don't know and just starting a conversation. Like, that was not Alison. And so now I'll walk up to anybody, So I've grown so much, but that I was approaching it from somebody that did not want to do those things, but knew they were needed. Because you need other professionals in your life, and you need, we all need each other. So I don't know. I want everybody to know that our Chamber of Commerce, while it's different, it was born out of like trying to fit the needs of the community and that we were serving and the members that we were serving.
I would say, I think coming from a small business owner, because that's another thing that's also confusing too. Yeah. I do have my own separate business. I did media consulting. So, but I think I looked at return on investment. So I looked at the chamber providing a service that if, at the end of the year, if you're a part of the chamber, you can look at that $300 and say they brought value. Gotcha. That's so when you look at the whole, whether I'm not involved in all the projects with the chamber does, I'm kind of, but not really. But if you look at the whole, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to present value at the end of the year, and I think that was one of the things that I noticed, and I brought that being as a small business, you just have that, you have that perspective, So I think we also looked at, I think I did it maybe about a month ago, got on ChatGPT and did like research on the chamber, and we're classified as a unicorn. So which further emphasizes how different we are. And I looked at the other chambers, and a lot of the things they were doing were just really wouldn't work here at all.
Right.
And so like Alison was saying, a lot of things were just born out of I won't say trial and error, but just really bringing value. You know, we listen to, hey, how can we get more advertising? How can we market the business owners? And one of the best ways to do that is, you know, go to their business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it really was.
And it worked out. And then we just built on that and just kept on going. And if you notice with, I'm big at little iterations, right? You get a platform and you just make little changes over and over, you know, and they just to get the product better and better.
Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. And not that other chambers don't do that, but in this area, it was just necessary to go that direction because, you know, we don't have a big port like, you know, Brunswick.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of the same type of networking opportunity. Even Jacksonville, yeah. You go to Jacksonville, that's a totally different market, totally different chamber. I will toot our horn though. We were probably the first to do what we're doing as far as, there was none of the other, and this is, I'll even say boldly as even nationally.
Right.
A lot of the chambers were still doing a lot of things the old way. They were just, they would do videos, but you know, what I would call low production. You know, or not storytelling style. Right. And I noticed that. So all that fed into what we do now.
Right.
You know, so
that's amazing. Okay. So for our small business owners that are local here in Camden County, if you join the chamber, you have access to the after business. What is it called?
Business after
hours. You have access to be able to do your storytelling here on the podcast. What other things does a business owner have access to here at the chamber?
So you have access to our entire network, which is over 600 members.
Wow.
So I think we've done a really good job at getting to know people. And that's not just business owners. I'm talking about people. Like I think we do a good job of getting out in the community and meeting people so that like I can figure out well, come here, you and Megan, y'all need to go to, so y'all can go do amazing things because we do have a lot of talented people. And what's so crazy is I've figured out a lot of people don't know some of the very people they need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's that connection piece. So you have that you're getting that. Number one, there are other networking opportunities. So we have coffee and commerce because business after hours wasn't for everybody. You work 8 hours. You don't want to go network for 2 more.
Right.
But there are people that do. They want to come. So we still have business after hours. It does rotate monthly where it is and stuff. We do take the summer off so that we can have just a lot of people are out of town and stuff. So we just kind of keep it. And then Coffee and Commerce is the first Wednesday of every month. And so that's at 8:30 at Huey Magoo's. And I think that the way we do that is really cool. It's set up, our ambassador committee, which is chaired by Jolene Anderson. They were looking for another networking opportunity. So it was kind of born out of ambassadors. And so they started that at Huey Magoo's. And we get to go around. The format of that is you go around and you tell who you are, what your business is, and any ask or anything you're looking for or whatever. So everybody knows who's in the room.
Right.
And to watch business happen while that's going on is the coolest thing. Like people will get sponsors or they'll get this or they needed, whatever. And so that's really cool. And then we just recently added Power Lunch, which is a lunch style networking thing. And that's at OBX the second Monday of every month. And so it's just, we've got a lot of different things.
Military tours?
Yeah, I haven't gone there yet. So that's really, so as far as networking and when you can come out and meet people, but I also want people to know that networking is also like coming in and sitting with me and let's talk about like what things you're looking for, what kind of people you want to connect with, and like we'll help you find your people here.
Right.
So because I know moving here, it's very hard. And so I think that's just a really cool part. Like you don't just have to come to the networking. If you're afraid, like come sit with me first, because I promise you, like we'll talk it out and I will get you with the right people. And then as far as everything else, we have the military tour, which we started almost 3 years ago now. And we worked with the base for a while trying to come up with. She was having, I work with Lisa Milestone from Fleet and Family, and she was having an issue like just she wanted to get them out, wanted to get them. They were just staying in barracks, and you know, it was like, well, why don't I need them to come and shop? So let's make a tour and let's show them, you know, Camden County, and kind of explain it to them. Like, this is where you can get this. This is where, because I think it's easy to drive up and down 40, but when you get out and meet these people and you've been inside, like, don't judge a book by its cover, because you walk in and a lot of these places are like, you're like, wait, I didn't even know this was like, you know? And so the military tour has been really cool. We do it every single Wednesday. And shout out to Dan Udy with A1 Carpet Care, because he is now the tour guide. I did it for a while. Even Mitch Blyler was doing it with Presidential Mortgage. But now Dan Udy has taken that role, and you know, it's so cool because he keeps telling me, I always am like, thank you, you know, for doing this, because it's an all day thing. Like, we pick them up at 8 and we drop them back off at 3. And so, shout out to Bennett. They sponsor the lunch. Bennett Automotive Group sponsors the lunch at Green Room, and they take them around to just different businesses. We start in Kingsland and end up in St. Mary's, and it's been so cool. And I think the coolest experience from that was you know, once you get in your 40s, everybody's a kid. But like, he was turning 21 and he didn't know anybody here. And so he went back to Brackish Beer and he was like, hey, I just thought I would just have my first beer with you guys, or first legal beer with you guys, you know? And so they ended up throwing him a little party in there. And it was, but that's the kind of stuff that you're trying to do here. Because I want, like Kanan was saying earlier, bloom where you're planted. I want them to know, like, if they're planted here for 3 years or 18 months or whatever it is, like, I just want them to be here and thrive here and become part of our community, you know? So that was the kind of the motivation behind the military tours. And we're about to start spouses tours. So we're going to do a lot of different tours, it seems like. But it seems the way to go in Camden County is to get people out and let them see how amazing these people are that are running these businesses.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to all of the networking opportunities, if I'm understanding correctly, it's for the members, but it's also for potential members.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a big benefit to the community. So people who are not already members, they have the opportunity, they can benefit from coming and meeting someone and expanding their business and being open to everything else that the chamber does. So that's amazing.
And I just want to say on that topic, like, I do want potential members to come to these things, and they don't have to pay anything. They don't have to, you can just show up, because I want to make sure the chamber's a fit for you. Like, come and like test the waters a little bit and see what you think about it, you know?
Are we providing value?
But, you know, with the chamber, I think most people are like, oh, the chamber doesn't work, doesn't do anything. Well, it's a partnership. This whole thing is a partnership, you know? So you're going to get out of it what you put in. And
this is true.
Like, yes, you pay for the membership, but then we're like the hub of all the things that you might need. You know, we've got the Lucas Center for Entrepreneurship in here. We've got so many ways to help at that point, and every business is different.
This is true.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I think, I mean, is cool, you know? So go ahead.
2 more questions. So what's one thing about Camden County that keeps you up at night that you want to be able to change?
Well, I know. I know for her, it's going to be rants and raves.
If I can set it on fire. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I think I'll just go back to just the attitude, bloom where you planted. And I think if you really took time to really look at where you lived and appreciate it, I think that perspective also comes from, you know, I lived in Alaska for like 18 years. So a lot of people don't know that. But so I was a transplant in Alaska, knew nothing about it, and ended up loving it, chopping firewood, hunting, fishing. And this is going to be why it's more interesting. I'm originally from the Virgin Islands. There are no mountains or firewood and that stuff. So wherever you go, try to just learn the place and adapt. And just I think if people would just adapt that mentality to appreciate where you're at, look at the little things, because it's so easy to just look somewhere else and say that place is better. But I think I wish people just change the way they look at the attitude of where they live at, because I mean this is a great place to live.
Right.
And I agree with that. And I agree with, I'm going to stick with that for right now. Yeah.
Right now.
But, because I feel like people spend too much time attacking each other and where they live and all the things. And I just wish they understood, like, first of all, we are all people just trying to do life and get through the day. And
not everything's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Like not.
At times it is what it is. Sometimes it's not.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times it is what it is. Yeah. It's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's probably, there's a lot of things that keep me up at night growing.
Okay. So the last question for you guys. So when you think about the next 100 episodes that you're going to do, what do you see your vision when it comes to not just the chamber, but the podcast? Well, let's focus on the podcast, because I really believe in this podcast. And I think this podcast is something that's great, especially since it is hyper local.
Yeah.
So when you think about the next 100 episodes, what is your vision for the future?
Kanan?
I mean, from production wise, I mean, this new studio is fantastic. So I want to continue to just grow that. And
Kanan did everything in this studio. Like,
really?
This is nothing. Like, he has a vision. That's why I was saying he's a visionary, because, like, holy cow, he can see it. And, like, he was explaining this all to me, and I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, a texture wall? I don't know what that is. Like, what? And, he'll add a lamp here or do this here. And, it really, he brings it all together. So, yes, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
more of that. More stories, and not so much, I would say, podcast wise, but I think one thing that we are missing in this community, we don't have any like central video that tells you what's going on in Camden. That's probably one of the biggest complaint we hear. I personally don't want Alison to do it because she's tapped out. She could do it.
I'm like, next, let's do it.
She's tapped out. So I think that's something I think would be cool to add to the mix. It produced by the chamber, but it'll probably be somebody else just kind of giving local news. And
it's his way of kicking me. You're not doing it.
No. I mean,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing. But yeah, and like I agree with the story part and really getting the stories out there. And I just hope people will listen. Like we're not trying to do anything but showcase our community that we love and the people that make it up, and trying to connect people, because I can't tell you how many people are like, Alison, like, thank you for that podcast, because I didn't know that, and it was something on mortgages. Yeah. And I'm like, ooh. But I don't know.
Not too, about sometimes I'll say this, and we'll do a podcast and I'm editing the podcast. Like, who the heck is going to watch this?
Right.
Seriously.
And there's times where like 30,000 views on this, like people really didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And
so
and I'll be at church or wherever, and they're like, hey, thank you for doing that podcast. I now know that my daughter can X, Y, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Right.
You watch that? Like, I literally say that sometimes, like,
right.
But yeah, they do, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate this community, and people are learning,
right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that we have to remember. And I love the fact that you guys have people walking up to you, because as a marketing person, I love hearing that. And you're so right when it comes to storytelling. And a lot of people don't understand that you can take something boring like mortgages, put a good story to it, and you have people who want it, and you can relate to the community that you're in through that storytelling. Yeah. So that's amazing.
What I've learned today is that I feel like you need to be on the podcast more. Maybe you're a new host.
I'll go back behind the scenes.
Go back behind the scenes. That's too funny.
Yeah.
That's too funny. But thank you guys for this opportunity. So we know that for the next 100 episodes, we have 100 more stories, 100 more visions, 100 more business owners for Camden County. So I hope that you guys will continue to tune in every week, or how often?
Every week. Yeah.
Tune in every week for the Getting in Your Business podcast. And again, congratulations on making us to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
We did it.
And again, thank you for having me as your guest host. I thoroughly enjoyed this today. And I'll see you guys next time.
All right.
That's my intro for my stuff. I didn't know.
That was perfect.
That's my outro.
That's fine.
You're really good.